I share what I'm listening to and my thoughts on music and the business daily for free at helloyassine.com.
What's poppin', y'all? One of actually quite an ironic intro for the topic we're going to talk about today, because What's Poppin' finally went diamond. I say finally, like that's been a very long time, but it shockingly went diamond. This was reported the other day, certified diamond, which is Jack Harlow's first diamond record. Very impressive feat. But one thing that I want to talk about today is, why is everybody ignoring Jack Harlow's rollout? Like, I felt like it was starting a couple of months ago, in particular when Tranquility dropped, because it was the second song he had dropped in quite a while. The first one was Hello, Miss Johnson. And I know some of you guys are thinking like, yo, where has Jack Harlow been? Some people are saying Jack Harlow fell off, this and that. People had a lot of takes about Jack Harlow. So I'm going to go through, this video is mainly focused on his history post his first album, Come Home, the Kids Miss You, which is the one that he had Drake on. And then we're going to talk about what he's been doing, as well as why I think this rollout, they're doing everything that they should be doing. They're doing everything that should work. And I'm looking forward to see what he drops here. But have people had enough of Jack Harlow? That's one of the questions. So first off, Come Home, the Kids Miss You, it was largely, it fell flat. I wouldn't say it was necessarily a flop. Like, numbers wise, it did fine. It had good songs on there, but Jack Harlow was riding this hype for maybe like a year or so, where it was just win after win after win, and people expected this debut album to be a huge home run for him, and it just wasn't. And that was quite disappointing. But he went back to the drawing board, took a little bit of time off, but he came back with, and he was also on that song with Lil Nas X, which was a number one. He came back with Jackman. Jackman was an outstanding album. It's Jack Harlow really doing his raps. Like, he doesn't have songs like Movie Star with Pharrell on there, which was on the first project, which I really love that song, Movie Star by Pharrell. That's why it's the first song that comes to mind. But it's just such a far cry from just like pure raps. And Jackman is pure raps, which is what a lot of, I wouldn't say what was missing, but what a lot of people claimed that they wanted from Jack Harlow. But that album didn't get as much attention as Come Home, the Kids Miss You, partially because it didn't have like a smash hit song. Granted, after that, this is where Jack Harlow slowed up a bit and he transitioned audiences. So at this point, Jack Harlow was that guy, especially when it comes to white dudes. There aren't many white rappers in general, but he was that guy overall in hip hop. Like, people were like, yo, this guy's the second coming to Drake. And it made us appreciate Drake that much more when Come Home, the Kids Miss You was not a replica of what Drake is able to produce. But after Jackman, a lot of people just, this is where I think maybe he had to keep his foot on the gas. But regardless, he drops in 2023 this song called Lovin on Me. And this is where everything changes for Jack Harlow. So at this point, Jack Harlow had First Class already. And keep in mind, Jack Harlow had What's Poppin' in 2020. That's when he first gets on. He had Industry Baby in 2021. So What's Poppin' peaked at number 2 on the charts. And it was on the charts for 51 weeks. So there are 52 weeks in a year. So basically, he had a song on the charts for a year, pretty much. And then he had Industry Baby the next year for 42 weeks. That was in 2021. And then in 2022, he had First Class, which was a number 1 for 28 weeks. So this guy was dominating year after year with a chart-topping single. Like, we have to give credit to how impressive this is. And then what happens in 2023? Well, he drops another one. So he drops Lovin on Me, which is very different audience. It seemed a little bit more tailored to women. It's a good song, don't get me wrong at all, but it had me a little perplexed to see what album he was going to drop after this. So this song released, or it debuted in the Hot 100 on November 25th, 2023, and the music video for this song released 11/2022 or 11/10/2023, so November 10th. And surprisingly, with how successful this song was, it's only quote unquote got 178 million views on YouTube, but this was a radio play smash. And where I noticed that Jack Harlow was drifting further away from hip hop with this song was because nobody in hip hop was talking about this song. And it was a top 5, top 10 for many, 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 many weeks. So I thought, okay, this is a different audience that's hearing this. And then when you saw Jack Harlow doing press and interviews with these quote unquote white media outlets, like for instance, he did that Call Her Daddy podcast, which is like, whoa, why is Jack Harlow on there? I mean, it kind of makes sense when you think about it. Jack Harlow is like, he's seen as the guy that women really like, and he's a smooth guy, and he's I wouldn't say like charismatic in the sense that he's brash or very, very bold, but he's like a smooth dude, smooth, cool, chill dude. Nobody has anything bad about him. Nobody has anything bad to say about him. And this song ended up being the longest charting song since What's Poppin'. So What's Poppin' did 51 weeks and Industry Baby did 42, but Industry Baby he was just a feature on. So this song did 38 weeks. And for most of 2024, he was quiet. Like, obviously, he did those press appearances, but within hip-hop, we didn't really see him there. And maybe it was for the better because the hip-hop civil war between Drake and Kendrick Lamar was going, so he was ducked off somewhere. I think he was focusing on acting. That's something he talked about in an interview where he said, like, he wanted to be locked into rapping, but he also wanted to act as well. So I'm guessing he did he was filming a movie or something for Apple TV. I'm not entirely sure exactly. But he begins dropping after being quiet for nearly a year. And this just goes to show, like, you disappear for a year, and it's considered 2 years within hip hop because 2024 late 2023, second half of that, he drops the song, or very late Q4, he drops the song Lovin' on Me, which doesn't really resonate with the hip hop audience. I don't know why. It's a good song. And then all throughout 2024, he doesn't really release much of anything until Hello Miss Johnson. That's the end of 2024. So it's almost a year and a half where he's disappeared from hip hop, even though he's still crushing it on the charts music-wise whilst he's doing the acting thing. And he drops this Hello Miss Johnson music video. And this is a pretty good song. Good music video. Didn't resonate with hip-hop audience. It didn't really hit anybody's radar. And I want to contrast this with the next music video that we're going to talk about, because I want you to check the description of this and see how many people were involved in this music video. And this is why I think it was for that Lovin' on Me audience, because you listen to Hello Miss Johnson and you listen to Lovin' on Me and you're like, okay, the same type of person would likely enjoy these. So you see a list of names, right? All these people involved in the production of this music video. And then towards the end of last year in 2024, December 30th, he drops the song Tranquility, which is raw music video in New York City. He's just straight up rapping through the whole thing. He's telling us how he feels. He's telling us what he's been going through. We get real Jack Harlow, and it's high level raps, really good stuff. And then look at how many people are involved in the shoot for this. So a lot smaller number in the crew. And I think this is beautiful because within hip hop, you don't need these grand productions and people involved to drop something that resonates. And this is where they started to promote Jack Harlow again. I posted this. I was not paid to post this. I liked the song, but I saw a lot of other pages that most likely were paid to post this start talking about it. And people were giving their own opinions on Jack Harlow. Depending on the page is the type of opinion you were going to get. But at this point, I'm like, okay, we got Hello Miss Johnson. We got Tranquility. What's really going on here? Is he coming back? And then February 13th, so this is 2 months later, he drops the music video for Set You Free, which is basically a rap music video as well. This song you can see in the description again of the music video. Small crew, but this song is fire. I mess with this song so heavy, and I think this is Jack Harlow's lane. At least for me, this is the identity of Jack Harlow that I think is separate from any of the comparisons that people make, because it's these instrumentals. It's like First Class, right? And it's also not all the way like Tranquility, but I think with Jackman, whilst I don't really have any complaints necessarily about the album Jackman, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was great. It was just too much on the rapping side to be, I guess, like mainstream appeal. And Come Home, The Kids Miss You, I think like there were attempts at hit songs. I think Lovin' on Me is maybe a little bit too far outside of the hip hop audience, but I think Set You Free is that perfect happy medium where like Lovin' on Me kind of felt like pop rap. I think maybe that's why it didn't resonate, or because it was for girls. I'm not entirely sure. And Jack Harlow has always had a fan base of girls, but I think white girls is after First Class. But of course, with Lovin' on Me, I think white girls really jumped on. I think even moms started listening to Jack Harlow, like white moms and stuff like that, because that thing was played in every supermarket or wherever they would be shopping. So Set You Free drops, banger. And then immediately after that, February 14th, Valentine's Day. What happens? Jack Harlow, known as the guy, he's not always with chicks, but you know, like he gets along with chicks, right? Like he's not flaunting a new girl all the time, like maybe G-Eazy was doing at a certain point in time, and he doesn't make it known. But a post starts going around where it's like, okay, Jack Harlow's solo in New York City, and he's been in New York City, the home of hip hop, the birthplace of hip hop, for quite a while for these past 2 music videos. And then you just see him alone at a restaurant, and people, this causes not controversy, this causes a conversation. It's like, man, Jack ain't got a girl like me either. Or, man, this isn't real. This is like 14 million views on the Pop Crave account, or like 400,000 likes. So this creates a ton of conversation. Great way to get Jack Harlow talked about again. Like, this was home run. And it's a simple post, right? Someone could have literally just gotten up and walked to the bathroom, or somebody could have just been that was taking the picture, could have been the person that was with him. But we learned that this was promotion for an upcoming music video. So there was another post where it was him and Doja Cat just like chatting it up. So from this post, it ended up being a song that released. And one of the scenes from the song is him in that restaurant, that same restaurant, where it was on February 14th that people were like, oh yeah, he's just having dinner by himself. So this was all promotion for a song, Just Us with Doja Cat. I am not going to lie, I'm not too much of a fan of the song. You guys know I love Doja Cat. Love Doja Cat's music. Amazing. I think she was a bit of a standout here in comparison to Jack Harlow. But I've only listened to the song once. I've got to give it a couple more tries. And also, Jack Harlow has been doing these fan questions again. So I'm going to play you guys one of them right now.
First off, I appreciate that. And I also appreciate what you said about my work. Cooking, man.
So, yeah. There was also one where I think I'm going to try to find it. It's where they asked him if he would do something for $800 million.
Since the obvious answer to this is yes, I guess the real question is how low a sum would I take? If we started taking zeros off that, and it was just, so what is that, 800 billion? So let's take it down to a million. 800 million, still do it. 800,000. No. Okay, though. No. So 800,000 I wouldn't. 800 million? No, I mean, be serious.
So as you can see, this is how they'll reintroduce a certain rapper into the game after they've been gone for a while. And is it working completely? I think it's like an engine, right? That hasn't been turned on in a while. You're hearing that, you're hearing that sound for quite a while, but the engine's getting started. It's heating up. It'll eventually get there. But they're doing everything that got Jack Harlow on and what made people like Jack Harlow. Like, okay, you got Jack Harlow with the chick, Doja Cat. You had him rapping, like on Tranquility. You had him, the relationship thing, him alone on February 14th. You got him interacting with fans with this personality, with this kind of his own style of humor. And you've got that being circulated. So all of these things are coming together, and he recently just did an interview with Apple Music. But I hope that he can get back into the game, and I hope he has some hip-hop collaborations. I do think it's really going to be important for him to work with some rap artists to get back into the game and be seen in the mix. That's something that he stayed out of the way with as well. Like, whilst the whole hip-hop civil war was going on, not only did 21 Savage go dig himself under a hole, we haven't seen that man in forever, but most other rappers were still clicking up, still doing their thing, making it known that they were part of this kind of like fraternity or community that is hip-hop, where Jack Harlow has not been for quite a while, at least in front of us. Hey, behind the scenes, he's probably still cool with whoever he's cool with. So that's something I'm looking forward to. An album from him, it would be great. I don't know if, like, for example, I don't think the numbers would be there. I don't even think he'd hit Jackman numbers, if we're being honest, if it were to drop this week. But I do think he's going to take some more time to heat up. They're going to spend a ton of money on promotion. And this is where the money into promotion, and like a previous Ye video that I talked about, which I'll talk about in the end, where the whole concept is, oh, these people are spending more promotion than they are making the money from the album in the first week sales. And yeah, I talk about that whole topic in depth in this video where Ye talks about it. So I'll have that on your screen, and it'll be in the pinned comment. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Go to helloyassine.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Peace.